Welcome, welcome, welcome to episode 43 of the show with no name. I'm your humble host, Nick, and today we're going to be exploring another old abandoned cemetery out here in the middle of the desert. The cemetery goes by the name of Mold Cemetery, and it was established in the year 1900. Let's get into this thing. Mold is a ghost town now, and to be honest, there's almost no records or anything of the sort about this place. But as you can see, it's pretty old. It's just got such a ancient, majestic feeling to it. Just such a beautiful place out here. Something so amazing about these areas up here on the plateaus. It just feels like the sun's closer to you than normal. It's just awesome. A post office that went by the name of Mold was established out here in the area in the year 1889. Which leads me to believe that this area was probably founded somewhere in between the late 1870s and the early 1880s, most likely. These graves here are pretty interesting because they're pretty new. They're definitely the newest graves at this graveyard, as far as I could see. I really would like to meet the family of these people sometime out here and maybe get some information on the history of Mold if I can. Because this was just such a beautiful place. It was probably the best cemetery I've ever visited, I think. I just have so much respect and admiration for these people that founded this great area out here, because the climate is just so harsh and unforgiving. I just cannot believe what these people must have went through back in the day, coming up and settling these plateaus back before there were power lines, before the dam was being built, before there was irrigation. People in today's world don't realize how hard it was for these pioneers back in the day. And I think they are more than worthy of this memorial because of everything that they did. And I want to get back to something I just said. Irrigation. I think that could have posed a problem for these settlers during the Great Dust Bowl times. I have reason to believe that a decent amount of this community had to flee out of here before the dam was built, and because they had a couple dry spells up here. And I mean, they really depended on the draws and the creeks back in these days to get their water. I mean, you had to live by water. It's not like it is now. So when these people came out here and built these places up, and then maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, they just didn't get the water that they needed to sustain not only themselves, but just the farm in general. And many of them had to flee. Now that's just my guess. I'm purely speculating there. I said it would be really nice to meet somebody out here that has an idea of some of this history, because I would love to learn it and even pass the history on to the future generations, because The sacrifice these people made, at least to me, just cannot be forgotten. It's part of why I've done this project, because I don't want this history to be forgotten. It just can't be forgotten by the future generations, what happened out here. It was such a beautiful day out this day. It was almost like the sun came out just for me right when I stepped foot into this cemetery. It was like it was meant to be. I love the old baby graves too, and these old pioneer graveyards. I think they just look so beautiful. I bet you that was a really, really, really tough thing for these pioneers to deal with when they had infant deaths like this. This was also a interesting little family cemetery here. I couldn't see any of the headstones, if there are headstones down there though, because the snow's covering them up right now. Just such a beautiful fence and a beautiful place. We have a World War I veteran here too as well, which I thought was pretty cool. And we also have a couple Spanish-American War veterans that are buried out here. And I just think these headstones look absolutely incredible. I believe that this little plot here was a veteran-specific plot that they put together back in the day in honor of these veterans. These people were just tough as nails, and this episode that I'm doing right now is a tribute to them. I'd just like to say thank you to all of them for everything that they did to help build this community and this world that we live in today. You are not forgotten, and you are very much appreciated and remembered. I hope you enjoy the rest of the videos and the pictures of Mold Cemetery. Thank you.